Dr. Thomas Rocchio. I practice foot and ankle reconstructive surgery in Allentown, Pennsylvania. What I'd like to show you today and accomplish in this video is introduction to the Seal Mini External Fixation System. We look here at the initial tray that your rep will be bringing into the room, and what we have is a small rail system. Comes in both a large and a small device. Our fixation pins, which are both 3mm, 4mm, and a centrally threaded 4mm pin. Our car and collet fixation device. Our collet component, which comes in a 3, 4, and 5mm. And our Allen wrench components, which come in a basic Allen component and a ball Allen component. Before I go into more detail, it's important to point out, as 510K approval was applied for this device, there was such unique characteristics of this device compared to the predicate devices, with the most specific unique characteristic being that only one area of screw fixation in this Allen component was stabilizing the entire unit on the car and the pin to the anatomic structure that you're fixating. That FDA approval needed an additional 8 months of testing, as this was so unique. It is important to note that in every area of testing against predicate devices, the Seal system was more stable and held deformity longer in all tests to failure and tests for stability. When we look first at the device, we'll start with our rail component. We have a car that can hold our collet device, choosing whether you would like a 3mm, which is in my hand, which is black, a 4mm, which comes in a red ball in the collet, and if needed, a 5mm, which has a blue ball collet component. After choosing the appropriate collet size for your appropriate pin, this is simply pressed into place in the car. One thing to notice right away is that you have 180 degrees of freedom of your car on your rail. You have an additional 45-degree to 90-degree locking component of the car system on the rail, displayed here at the 45-degree and 90-degree, and then also here at the 180-degree component, so you can set your estimated angle at what you would need for your pin placement with your fixation on your rail. The fine tuning can be done with the pin actually in the collet device, which gives you an extra 60 degrees of correction. With the 180-degree correction you can receive at the level of the car on the rail, with the 60 degrees that you can dial in for fine tuning on the pin, and the virtual 360-degree rotation you can have around the rail on the car. This is truly the first small rail device that can be pins first. Now we can discuss actually picking the best anatomic position to best stabilize your deformity correction without compromise and the need to adjust based on your external fixation. When we look still at the small rail, after our pins and cars are fixated, we can get simple distraction or compression, whatever is desired, with our Allen component, showing clockwise for compression, counterclockwise for distraction, in a very simple motion. Some of the additional components that were added was the ability to mate a separate rail system. Here with just a simple 6mm threaded rod, we could take a second device, mate that device, and have several areas of the extremity that are being compressed or distracted. A great unique component of our pin system is, at first you may think it's tapered, but what we're looking at is actually a stepped drill threaded rod component, where you'll have in this 4mm model 3mm self-drilling, self-tapping that step to a 4mm pin. The benefit here, less stress on bone. If you need to back out, you will not lose your stability as you would with a tapered pin. Centrally threaded 4mm pin, and you'll see in later videos what procedures this is basically used for. Self-drilling, place this through the center portion of bone, and you're able to utilize this for fixation both medially and laterally for the desired surgical procedure. Some additional components that are placed into our tray would be the 2-car position. This allows for multiple variations, whether it's to throw several pins off the one car or whether you'd be utilizing this device to actually have several of the rail systems incorporated. One last unique characteristic of this rail system that you'll see in later videos is that this device can mate and act as a strut with the circular external fixation system from this company. Again, I'm Dr. Thomas Rocchio. I hope this video was informative. If you have any other questions or would like to speak to a representative, please contact the SEAL local representative in your area.